My name is Mirjam Schmuel. I'm one of the founders of Pocketmaker. I'm also a circular expert, and we are actually in our office at the moment. Pocketmakers is an enabler for the circular economy. We're working in a building environment, and we always choose the right skill to make impact. One thing we always do, we work with other companies. That's the only way to reach our goal. We look for the right people to find the right answer for the question. As long as I can remember, I'm always aware of the negative impact we have on our environment. And I grew up close to the beach, and I was always overwhelmed by the greatness of nature. But on the other hand, I saw after every sunny day all the rubbish on the beach. Now, where I can change that from the rubbish what we left on the beach for future generations into a call to action was when I started working at one of the founders of Cradle to Cradle, William McDonough Partners. They gave me the tools to really reuse those materials, but also start thinking about a new way of designing. Designing for disassembly, designing for reuse, designing for circularity, as we call that nowadays. I would love to tell you more about Gebouwmarktplaats. Gebouwmarktplaats is a marketplace for buildings that's going to be dismantled. It's our own initiative. Why we think it's circular, but also why it's very important to do this is because if we don't want to exceed the 1.7 degrees global warming, we need to reduce carbon. If we want to make impact, we need to reuse the big components. The big construction parts and the skin. To explain this a little bit more, how we do that is, for example, if you have a big real estate company, could be a university also or a municipality, they have a catalog of buildings that's going to be dismantled. But they have also a catalog of buildings that's going to be built. And normally, if you dismantle buildings, you give it to the market, all the materials, and for the buildings that you're going to be built, you buy it back. And what we do is we want to integrate it. How can we reuse the materials which are going to be dismantled for your new building? You want to see which components are going to be available, and that are the ingredients where you're going to design your new buildings with. Yeah, the Gebouwmarktplaats actually is more a movement where we want to change the way we build buildings, but also demolish buildings. Now, the challenges we encountered, actually there are a lot of challenges. The regulations don't fit for this new type of process, because it's a new process. If you're going to design a building, you have to start with the existing environment, existing buildings, and buildings which are not demolished, but are going to be demolished. The knowledge, how to do that as a whole chain, there's a lack of it. So one of the challenges is that we have to work together. The opportunities is the reduction of carbon emissions, and that's a big challenge. And the Gebouwmarktplaats, or the way we think about this process, will help. And of course, a new architecture that we're going to design with our built environment gives us a new toolbox and new inspiration to create an environment for the future. Yeah, one big lesson we learned is that if we want to make big steps and reduce carbon, do and work together as a whole chain. Everybody has his own perspective, like the dismantler, the architect, developer, the constructor. We need all the knowledge from everybody to realize this. In a transition towards circularity, asks for new roles. Our role on the chain is an enabler, an integrator. Actually, we look at what's missing now to reach our goal towards circularity. So what you see is that there's a lot of things are written on paper. We know in theory how to do it. And there are also a lot of dots who do the right things. And actually, we are the one who connecting the dots bring it from paper into reality. Try to integrate all the expertises to realize the goal. Therefore, we start our own initiatives and also we do projects. Now, first thing, which is really important, that we always have to look for the right answer of the question. And sometimes it's a new design, but sometimes we don't need an architect, need somebody else. It's what is needed to reach our goal and to answer the question. And that's always where we have to start with. Do we need a building, or can we refuse to do anything? Because that's actually the highest level of circularity. One thing we know for sure is that the future will be look different than we can predict right now. So if you do something, if you build, if you create, if you design something, always take into account that you can adapt to future innovations, but also to changing needs. The last thing, which is really important to take into account, that with the challenges we have, the climate challenge we have, that we use our existing environment and existing buildings as a source for our future environment. So we have actually all the material banks already around us, and use that for our new architecture and new future. To make this transition happen and to take a step forward, it's really important that every part of this chain, every architect, every dismantler, but also we take our ownership and make new game rules to challenge this and to make our new future together.